She was yellow, with purple veins in her cheeks. Her eyes were partially open, and her jaw had dropped. I was afraid that I might faint, or worse still, cling on to her and cause a scene, but when the moment came, I was appalled to find I couldn't relate to what I saw. Death makes no attempt to be attractive or approachable. It doesn't explain itself. And as I stood beside my mother, the gulf between us was as great as if she had never existed. What lay there was such a shabby impostor. "Yes, officer, that's her," I said, but I was lying. It wasn't Mum. That was just something she'd left behind. The policeman was kind. It was his insistent hammering on the front door that had woken me. His questions were all about practicalities. Did I have relatives? Who did I need to inform about this? Was there someone that I could be with? I told him I wanted to be with Mum. He radioed ahead to check whether the wreckage had been cleared, and he was prepared to drive a different way into town to avoid it until I stopped him. I had to see, to make myself believe. If I turned my back on even the slightest detail, it would be as if I was letting Mum down. And by grasping for the facts, couldn't I somehow claw her back? I wasn't even above hoping, as I sat in the police car, that she would simply climb down from the mortician's table in a miraculous return from the dead. Then we could forget this ever happened and just go back to normal. A paradise I hadn't recognised before. Glass was everywhere, with Mum's car slewed at right angles across the other side of the road. It was all such a very sick joke, particularly as I could only come up with reasons why she shouldn't have died. A couple of seconds earlier, and she'd have driven into the hedge and nothing would have hit her. It was the passenger side that was damaged, for God's sake. And what was she doing, swerving into oncoming traffic anyway? "I love you, Mum," I whispered. But it wasn't enough. I needed to take my leave of her, to hug her, to shake her hand, anything. But how do you say goodbye to someone already gone? I was alive, she was dead. We no longer had anything in common. Not knowing what to do, I wandered about town, trying not to resent others on the street. I mean, they should know what had happened and treat me differently, but they just brushed past me or looked with annoyance at my dishevelled appearance, without an umbrella, and getting wetter all the time and not seeming to care. I didn't feel hungry, but I guessed I should eat, so I sat myself where I wouldn't be seen in a hushed little restaurant. My hand shook so badly I kept spilling the soup. And with every mouthful, I just forced back the tears. A lump in my throat so bad I thought it would strangle me. When I most wanted the day to be through, the next 6 months to be over and done with, time slowed. An evening newspaper headline shouted, "Road crash death." Well, it seemed appalling, but I bought a copy anyway. The story was on the front page at the bottom, a few facts and a big picture. Mum's familiar, reliable little Mini, heavily damaged. The driver's door swinging open. I couldn't look. Everyone will know, I thought. Now it would have to be real. And this weird noise came out of me. I knew I should go to someone, but I carried a contagion. And I didn't want to infect anyone else with the news and have to see them suffer too. Not yet. So I went home. My front door doing little to shut out this new world I found myself in. With every joint made rigid by the horror I felt, I went to bed. A clean nightie on, so that would serve as a shroud if I didn't survive the agony I was in. turning off the light, I waited for her to come, afraid of what the dark might be harbouring. And only when the dawn began to break and the shadows disappeared did I finally sleep, as the strengthening sun illuminated the long, long road ahead of me.